Hi, my name is Robert Wurstel, and I wrote this or compiled this book called What Jesus Really Said. Do you know what Jesus really said? Nobody else does either. Because the problem is that most of these stories that we have in the Bible were from hundreds of years after he was gone. They were passed down, verbal tradition, generation after generation, right? And I got kind of curious, so it was actually went back to a thing from Wayne Dyer, who said, you want to read the sentences in red. Now, in the New Testament, there's points where Jesus actually said things, and they were all, in some versions, they were highlighted in red. And those made so much more sense than a lot of the other stuff, because a lot of the New Testament is how to run a church, or how to get along with people, or blah, 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 blah. All these other people who are saying not to put down anything they said, and, you know, if you took offense, well, I'm sorry. The whole point I'm saying is that it's all based on what Jesus said. And so I said, well, what did he actually say? And so I found two works that actually cover, as close as we know, what he was actually talking about during that time. One of them is the Gospel Source Q, because they understood that, you know, you see that they're saying the same thing over in these four Gospels, over and over and over. It was basically, they postulated that there's a source Q, which was the actual words that Jesus actually said, and the rest of it was derived from that work. And so this Gospel Course Q, which was written in 1910, was when it was first published, is actually only what Jesus said. And it reads very clearly, oddly, because you're not taking all the interpretation, and he was led up to this for 14 days. He did, you know, not to put it down. Again, don't take offense at this. I'm just saying if you study the basic stuff and not the rest of it, and this is a tool that actually helps you do that. The second part of it is the Gospel of Thomas, which was just not too recently found out in the, I believe it was the Nag Hammadi parchments, the scrolls they found in that cave. And it was, again, the Gospel of Thomas, that all just what Jesus said. Now, some of it is like very similar to the other thing before, and some of it isn't. You know, I've seen about, it must be, I've counted about 5 or 6 times where he gives that many different variations on the golden rule. It's not just one, it's several. And there's the other point about how he actually had these things that are quoted by New Thought authors, which was, if you hold the thought in your mind, and he says the kingdom of heaven is within you. Well, if you strip off the King James wordage there, what he was actually saying can be then explain all sorts of things as far as this positive thinking stuff. And, you know, you really get back to a philosophical basis behind this, which is really, really, really fascinating. So, anyway, I made this as a book for you, because I figured if I needed to study this stuff, you would too. And I've got it as an ebook form in almost all the major booksellers. And I'm working to get the paperback into Amazon. So that should be there for you. Again, if you're looking at the ebook, they'll have a short preview. You can see if you like it, try it before you buy it. But I think you'll like to have it on your smartphone or somewhere. If you have a bit of time, you can actually just, you know, pull it up and start reading, and just get some enlightenment while you're sitting there in the bus or in your car or any spare moments you have. Okay? There's the book. Thanks.